So now let's talk about the second way of
Mm.
praying, which was the exact opposite of how I witnessed God praying, how Jesus prayed, which was with courage. And he had to learn how to do it. It didn't come naturally to the guy. Last week, we talked about how Jesus never apologized for being a tiger. When he prayed, he pounced on that blessing as soon as it showed up. And he was like, I just fed 4,000 people, bitch. And the Pharisees were like the privileged people at that time. They were like, oh, but you're God, so it's easy, right? And Jesus was like, heck no, it was not easy. It was not easy. First of all, because I am God and I'm human just like you, you're God and you're human, I can feel everyone's hunger. We have babies out there in the crowd. I had to feel every single one of those 4,000 people's hunger in their bellies, in their chests. If it were easy, I would have fed them 3 days ago or 2 days ago. But it took this long because I had to figure it out. Like I had to feel their hunger and I had to let it build up inside of me for 3 days in order to awaken my inner tiger. My fierceness was asleep inside of me. So I had to awaken it. I had to wake up my tiger. And the disciples were probably praying much earlier. Like they were like, God, give us fish. God, give us bread. Please give us something. Please give us something, 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 something. But their prayers were not working. So they came up to Jesus, I'm sure, asking for bread at the end of day one. Then day two, asked for bread again. Finally, day three, they're like, Master, everyone's starving. And Jesus had to channel all that hunger, all that thirst, and that pain of starvation into himself. He had to awaken his inner tiger. And when he finally did, that's when his prayer worked. The moment that tiger he grabbed the 7 loaves of bread from that little boy and he started breaking it. And sometimes you have to wait for the power within you to be awakened. You don't just pray, you have to activate that power, that prayer within you, to pray with all of your courage and all of your fierceness and your focus, because you yourself cannot pray. Your tiger has to pray for you. Your tiger knows how to hunt. It can see in the dark, and it can sense when and where that blessing is coming from because it's in tune with the silence. And Jesus was still learning. I mean, this was a little early in his ministry. He was still learning how to pray. Like he didn't know that. He didn't know, oh, you don't just snap your fingers and voila, you get bread. Babe, you gotta want it from your guts. You gotta use your tiger to be fierce to manifest bread. And and all of this was preparing him for his moment when later on he was going to be resurrected. He was learning how to channel his hunger mixed with the hunger of the people for a savior, his want, his desire, into this focused, powerful concentration. Because this time he manifested bread for the mouth. Next time he was going to manifest the bread of life. And he just had to figure out the mechanics of praying. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's not. There's an inner engineering to praying, meaning sometimes you do have to call on your tiger because sometimes you're not enough. Sometimes you need your tiger. and to feed 4,000 people. Jesus didn't know that he needed his tiger until he did. And he found it in that moment. So later, the Pharisees, word of mouth, they heard that he had done that and they were mocking him. They were like, hey, Jesus, they'll hailing him like they're going to hail a taxi. Hey, can you get us 4,000 donuts, please? And Jesus looked at them and replied, do I look like Dunkin' Donuts to you? Or am I the Son of God? Exactly. Your inner tiger does not let people take what you do for granted. Jesus looked back at them and said, I just fed 4,000 people with 7 loaves of bread. I'm a badass bitch. With that kind of miracle under his belt, it gave him bravado to call them out on their BS. And he just started saying it to the Pharisees. He goes, you are whitewashed tombs. You're pretty on the outside, but you're a rotting corpse on the inside. And the Pharisees were like, oh no, he did not just say that. They're texting all their friends like, oh my gosh, what the heck? He's Son of God. He talks like trash. And he was like, I just fed 4,000 people with 7 loaves of bread, bitch. I can say whatever the heaven I want. And this was the start of Jesus's confidence. This was when he began to really know he's not just a gentle shepherd tending to a flock of sheep. He can run with the wolves. In fact, he's not always sheltering people from the storm. Sometimes he is the storm. And he was so ready by the time he was crucified to take on the world and to take over the world. He knew that his heart, his tiger's heart, could conquer the hate in the world with all of its courage. And his attitude was, crucify me. I'm just going to resurrect my ass all over the place. You kill me, you turn me into a hero for all of humanity to worship. Bring it on, babe. Make me famous. And he was building up to that grand finale. He was just playing with those loaves of bread. But his inner tiger taught him how to play by teaching him how to pray. It's effing fun to be powerful. Learn to enjoy it. Learn to even enjoy the pain, because the pain is a temporary process where you learn to wield your power on a greater and greater scale. And every enemy who attacks you will only make you more and more famous, because they're just a pain in the ass. They're just the process. You're the prize.